Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this here channel, because I wear the special hat. Here on ETCG1 we talk about stuff, we don't do repair videos, so if you're into repair videos, head down in the description and click on the Eric the Car Guy channel link. Go there and watch all the repair videos you like. However, if you wish to stick around and join in the conversation, I'd love to have you. Welcome. Today's topic, I suppose we'll call it clutter in the toolbox. Recently I got a new set of Eastwood screwdrivers, a very nice set of screwdrivers by the way, and I needed a place to put them, and my screwdriver drawer, well, it was kind of overflowing. I also got some pliers and ended up cleaning out the drawer with the pliers too. But it got me to thinking, I'm sure that any of you out there that do mechanical repair have tools. And you probably have a place where you put those tools, and that place may be overflowing. It may be full of old and decrepit things, such as what I had here. Now, many of the things I had aren't necessarily no longer useful, but I don't really use them, and some of them are broken. And I kept them around for a couple of reasons. For me personally, I like the ability to, like, say if I need a special tool, the ability to make a special tool. In fact, I've done this a couple of times. Let me go grab some for you. Okay, here's a handful of what I'm talking about. One is my distributor tool. Actually, it's not a distributor tool. It's a tool for twisting in rear calipers. I actually got this idea from another technician, and it's a part of a Honda distributor that's welded onto the end of a bolt. That's why that one's cool. Here's an example of taking a broken tool and doing something with it. You may be able to see that crack right there along that socket. Well, that socket cracked. It's a 14 millimeter, I think it was a Matco, yeah. 14 millimeter Matco, and that on the end of it is a spark plug rethreader tool that's designed to helicoil spark plugs. Because I wasn't able to get a socket on the end of this tool, and I needed to get down inside of a cylinder head, a Honda cylinder head, I think it was a B series. So it's the spark plugs are way down inside of a well. And you can't get a socket over the top of this, so I welded these two things together to create the tool that you see before you here today, and all I had to do was hook my 3/8" extension onto it and I could use the tool. But that was taken from a broken socket. This right here is special because I hammered it and shaped it, and this is a seal puller for a transmission seal on an Acura Legend. The second generation Legend to be specific. They have a separate differential that comes off of the transmission. It is a front wheel drive vehicle, but the engine is in there like a traditional V8 would be, you know, I'll say a traditional rear wheel drive vehicle would be. So the engine is front to back, and as a result they run a separate differential back towards the front of the vehicle out of the transmission output shaft. And those vehicles are actually kind of prone to leak at that seal for that differential. The pinion seal leaks quite often. However, sometimes you run into a leak with the transmission seal. Now that thing is recessed all the way down inside the transmission, and they tell you you have to remove the entire transmission in order to get to that seal and swap it out, because it's like way down in a hole. So I came up with this tool, like I said, that actually you hammer it into the seal, and then you can hook a slide hammer onto the back of this and pull the seal out, and it worked actually quite well, and I made good money with this tool right here. And that was also a broken screwdriver similar to this, which is the last one that I'll show you, which is also a type of seal puller. I think I just sort of made it. It was a heat, beat, and grind type of situation. So these broken tools do have some use. And also the saying's been, you know, said that even a broken clock is right twice a day, and I think that applies to broken tools because they can be reused. However, if they're taking up real estate in the toolbox, I wanted to make room for something better. Those screwdrivers that I put in there are, as I said, really nice screwdrivers, and I'm happy to have them. And I needed to have space for them, and I didn't want to have everything all in a pile where I couldn't get to it. And after I posted the picture online about that, so many of you commented it'll only be like that for a week or a day or something like that. Well, guess what? It's been, I don't know, several weeks now. So there. I actually try to stay organized. That was kind of always my thing. In fact, so much so I might be a little fanatical about the organization. To some degree. But for me, it helps with my process. It helps when I do repairs. It helps to just not even look and reach and know the general area of a tool that you have on the cart or laid out someplace that you're doing a job, and be able to reach for it and get it. That's working as a flat rate technician. I did everything possible to be as efficient as possible, and staying organized was one of the ways that I did that. And that goes for the toolbox as well. Knowing where everything is, and I had to dig around a little bit there. To be honest, since doing these tool reviews and getting more tools, I am running out of real estate. I'm running out of space in this toolbox, and I shudder to think about getting a new toolbox. Mainly because it's a big expense. Anybody that's ever gotten one knows that. I bought this one used for I think about 400 bucks, maybe 500 bucks, maybe at most I think 600 for both the side box and that box, but I think it was closer to 400. It was used. I bought it off the tool truck. I felt like I got a good deal on it, and actually working on Hondas, I didn't need all that much. It gave me just the space that I needed, but now that I've been working on more stuff, I've had need for more space and need for more tools. So it's ever expanding, and anybody that's ever done this type of work for any length of time, whether you're a professional or not, you develop a tool collection. It's just how it is. Maybe you got a garage full of things. Maybe you've got one of those giant toolboxes that you spent lots of money on. And I'll throw this comment out there. And that would be, as a new technician coming in, say you've just got your job and you just started working someplace and you're all excited and you're out of school, and maybe it's time to buy that first toolbox. Know this, the tool truck, whatever tool truck you decide to buy the toolbox from, I don't care who they are, they're gonna want you to buy the biggest box possible. And why is that? Because the more space you have in that box, the more inclined you'll be to fill it up with stuff. And they know this, and I'm not knocking tool guys at all, because let's face it, they're small businessmen and they need to make a living and feed their families too. So just know that going in, when you buy that toolbox, just sort of keep an eye on how much space you actually need, and perhaps go through your existing toolbox, tool chest, whatever. See if there's things in there that aren't necessarily being used. I mean, if you haven't picked up the tool in a year, yet it's in the toolbox, do you really need it there? Maybe you could put it someplace else, put it in another storage bin, something, until it's time to actually use it. Other than that, well, it's just kind of taking up valuable space, that when you go to move all that old stuff into the new toolbox, you might have that thought to yourself. You're like, well, did I really need this? And then you end up with even more space in that new box and having to fill it, which, let's face it, that can get expensive. Being a tool junkie like myself, it's just kind of something that happens. Tools are an extension of us. When we do this type of work, they grab fasteners where our fingers can't. They do things for us that we're not able to do. They enable us. They give us the ability to perform the repairs and diagnostics. So they're a necessary part of anything you do as far as any kind of repair goes. So I want to throw this out to you for discussion, to see what your thoughts on this are. Do you have a toolbox that's full of stuff? Have you gone through it recently and gotten rid of a bunch of stuff? Are you planning on it? Are you thinking about it? Are you new to the business and looking for a new toolbox to fill up with all kinds of goodies? I know, I've been there. It's a never-ending cycle. And like I said, I don't fault you for it one bit. Just, keep an eye out on what you really need. And that's a really, really tough thing to learn, is after a while you figure out what you really need. If I'm to give you any kind of advice and you're new and starting out, I'll say buy the best stinking hand tools you can possibly get your hands on. Those are your bread and butter, your hand tools. Also your air tools. But these days, electrics. I got some electric stuff back there, and I've been using that more than anything. In fact, I hardly turn my air compressor on anymore if I can help it, other than to air up tires and things. Still, just keep the reins in, think about what it is you actually need, and actually, if you get started in a new job, talk to the guys that work there. They may be privy to a certain type of tool that they use all the time. If you borrow it more than once, you should buy one for yourself. Maybe that's just a good way to put it out there. If you need to borrow it more than once, you need to buy one for yourself. We'll get into borrowing tools in some other video. I think that would make a nice topic. Yeah, I can see the comments now. Anyway, if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over to ericthecarguy.com, where we have a plethora of features there to help you with any automotive issues you might have, and a welcome video to tell you about all those wonderful features that we have available for you. In addition to that, you can connect with me socially on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter, and I close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. And I will see you next time.